You ever feel like you're playing a video game, but you're stuck on the same damn level? You've got all the gear, the motivational books on your shelf, the productivity apps on your phone, you even meditate sometimes, but you keep running into the same invisible wall or dying to the same stupid mini-boss. Maybe for you, that boss is procrastination, or maybe it's that flash of anger that comes out of nowhere, or that quiet nagging feeling that you're just not good enough, no matter what you achieve. You try to fight it with positive vibes only. You try to hustle your way past it, but it's always there, waiting for you around the corner. But what if I told you the key to finally leveling up isn't about getting a new power-up or a better weapon? What if it's about turning around, walking back to the start of the level, and having a long, honest conversation with that glitchy, annoying character you've been trying to ignore the entire game? The truth is, the biggest obstacle holding you back isn't your lack of discipline or some secret productivity hack you haven't discovered yet. It's the parts of yourself you've been taught to hate, to hide, and to destroy. Your supposed weaknesses, your insecurities, your dark side. Today, we're not going to fight them. We're going to understand them, and we're going to put them on our team. This, my friend, is a beginner's guide to what psychologists call shadow work, and it's the single most powerful thing I ever did to get unstuck. So what is this shadow? Think of it as a backpack you've been carrying your whole life. Every time you were told, "Don't be angry, don't be weak, boys don't cry," or "Don't be so selfish," you took that part of yourself, stuffed it in the backpack, and zipped it up tight. The problem is, that backpack gets heavier over the years. And worse, the things inside don't just disappear. They bang around, they get twisted, and they start controlling you from behind without you even realizing it. That sudden rage? That's the anger you weren't allowed to express as a kid. That crippling procrastination? That might be the fear of failure you were taught to be ashamed of. The shadow isn't evil, it's just neglected. And the first step to dealing with it is learning to see it. So how do you actually spot something that's designed to stay hidden? It's easier than you think. You just have to look for its footprints. The two biggest clues are your triggers and your projections. Let's start with triggers. You know that feeling when someone cuts you off in traffic and you don't just get annoyed, you get white-hot, world-ending furious? Or when your boss gives credit to your colleague for an idea that was yours and it feels like a profound personal betrayal? That disproportionate emotional reaction, that's a trigger. The situation itself is a 2 out of 10, but your reaction is an 11. That extra energy, that overflow of emotion, is coming directly from the shadow. It's a part of you that feels unseen, disrespected, or powerless, and it's hijacking the moment to scream its head off. For years, I would get insanely irritated by people I saw as lazy. It would ruin my day. I thought I just had high standards. But the truth was, I had pushed my own need for rest and relaxation so deep into my shadow, because I believed it was a weakness, that seeing it in others would trigger this intense resentment. The second clue is even sneakier: projection. Pay very close attention to the things you can't stand in other people. The guy at the gym who's so arrogant, the friend who's always seeking attention, the public figure who seems so fake. Often the traits that we judge most harshly in others are the very traits we have refused to acknowledge in ourselves. We project our own disowned parts onto them so we can hate it from a safe distance. It took me a long time to admit that the arrogance I hated in others was a reflection of my own repressed desire to be confident and take up space, a desire I was told was unlikable when I was younger. So, your homework starting now is to become a detective of your own emotions. The next time you feel a strong, overwhelming reaction, positive or negative, don't just brush it off. Pause. Get curious. Ask yourself, okay, what's really going on here? What part of me is showing up right now? This isn't about blaming yourself, it's about gathering data. Once you've spotted the shadow, the next step is to have a conversation with it. And for that, all you need is a pen and paper. This isn't Dear Diary. Think of this as an interview, or even an interrogation. You're sitting down with that part of you that you've been avoiding. So you get triggered. You feel that rage, that jealousy, that fear. Later that day, when you're calm, you open a notebook and you write it down. You give that feeling a voice. Ask it questions like, what were you trying to protect me from in that moment? It's a game-changing question because it assumes the shadow has a positive intention, even if its execution is terrible. My anger wasn't just anger, it was a clumsy attempt to protect me from being taken advantage of. My jealousy wasn't just envy, it was a signpost pointing directly at what I secretly wanted but felt I didn't deserve. Then ask another question. What do you need? Your shadow doesn't need to be destroyed, it needs to be understood. Maybe that angry part of you just needs you to set better boundaries at work. Maybe that procrastinating part needs you to acknowledge your fear of failure and tell it that it's okay to not be perfect. This is the final, most crucial step: integration. Integration doesn't mean you let your anger run wild or you become an arrogant jerk. It means you stop fighting the energy and you give it a better job. You take that raw, chaotic anger and you refine it into the focused energy needed to say no calmly and confidently. You take that insecure, people-pleasing part of you and you harness its ability to understand others, turning it into genuine empathy instead of fearful compliance. So it all boils down to this. You spot the shadow through your triggers, you understand it through honest questioning, and you integrate it by giving its energy a productive role in your life. This isn't a one-time fix, it's a continuous conversation with yourself. But it's the process that finally gets you off that repetitive, frustrating level of your life. You stop being at war with yourself and you start using every single piece of who you are to move forward. And that truly is how you level up. I'm genuinely curious, what's one trait in others that always seems to trigger you? No judgment, drop it in the comments below. You'll probably find you're not alone. If this conversation was helpful, do me a solid and hit that like button and subscribe for more no BS guides to figuring out this whole life thing. Go easy on yourself and maybe go have a chat with your shadow. I'll catch you on the next one.